Sit back and relax, as by the end of this video you will have turned Skyrim into real life. So the first thing I want to discuss is the mountains and the rocks that are changed. As you can see, they're covered in moss, and when you look at the mountains in the distance, they look really photorealistic. The second thing I will be discussing is this Whiterun complete overhaul with new guards armour, which we'll have noticed, new flags, and it just looks crisper and sharper. Thirdly is the hairstyles. The women's hairstyles will have been changed. They look more smoother, more realistic. So when you get the Amulet of Mary, you'll be living the dream with real hair on your woman. Then we go over to the clothes that the NPCs are wearing. They've all been upgraded. They look a bit more realistic. In colder regions, they'll be wearing warmer clothes. Whiterun and the map in general will be updated with 3D flowers, which I showed you earlier with the thistle. The guard there walking past, as you can see, with his new armour on, looking real sharp. The flowers and everything about the map just pops. The water's been improved, so it changes direction. As it hits the wall, you can see it kind of stops and goes into the little hole, the little sewer. So water seems a lot more realistic. The fire has been massively updated, so it looks a lot more realistic with the HD effects. Looks a lot warmer. It also brightens up different parts of the room. As you can see here, we're away from the fire, it's darker, and you just get the faint light from the candles, but they're also got a little bit of smoke coming off them, which looks really realistic. The food and wine have been updated. NPCs' conversations are a lot more realistic. The hairstyles, the children look more real. The eyes of the NPCs are a lot more realistic. The whole game for me in general is just more immersive, better graphically, and just looks great and doesn't seem to drop any frames either, which is great. So I'm going to jump into the first thing, which is the vivid weathers, and talk about that. Right, so there's quite a few colours going off here. I just wanted to show you, you've got some reds, some whites, blacks, golds. You can see the moss on the buildings and everything, so this is a good place to show you. So when you download the Vivid Weathers mod, you go to items, down to your books. Right at the very bottom you'll see Vivid Weathers. Open that up. You can change the night brightness, so at night how bright you want it to be. Interior brightness, I'll show you the exact settings I've got. So as you can see at the top it says current 1, so that means I'm on dark. The interior brightness, I've got it on normal. The saturation, I've got it on 4, which is ultra. If I change that to bleak, just to show you how it looks, this is what you'll get. So as you can, if you look at the reds, it just goes a bit dull. Obviously the saturation's gone down. So I'll open up a book again. Vivid Weathers, I want to put the saturation back up. I'm going to leave it on ultra because that's what I like it on. Obviously change it to whatever suits you. The bloom, I always have it quite low because it seems to make the mountains a little bit too much for me. Current there low on the contrast as well. This is just how I have it. Sunlight, have it on low, because again, I'll show you, I'll put it on high. Just remember I need to put it back on low. If I put it on high, saturation's up, but then it looks a little bit to me a bit oversaturated. You might change your mind, but this is also, you get these lovely effects from another mod that's in. I think it's the Obsidian Weathers that does that, but I'll show you that one after. So yeah, everything pops when you get a bit more sunlight. That does look alright actually, but I just seem to like it. I like it a bit as realistic as I can possibly get it, so I try to turn it down a little bit, the sunlight. It does make people's faces a bit too white. That to me looks a bit more realistic, because it is an overcast day. So that's just how I have it, but again, you can have it however you want. And the last option is obviously moonlight, how bright it is at night. So that's how you get into that. The next one I want to show you is, so that's Vivid Weathers done, is you go into your magic and your powers. We'll go down to powers, and you'll see the others that I've got here. Manipulates your sensors, Obsidian Weathers and Rustic presets. Again, that's pretty similar to what you've got. You click on Rustic presets, press to use your shout, and it brings up the menu. You can change it to anything you want. I've got default at the minute. Vikings, for example, if you've ever watched Vikings, will add a bit more blue, make it look a bit more of a blue screen. We'll get rid of that because I like the default. So that's again that one covered. Your other powers, they're all in here, so when you get it, you use your powers. Obsidian Weathers. This one is quite good for showing seasons, so you can have a weaker sunlight, a stronger sunlight, put seasons on, that's what I do. And as you'll have noticed earlier in the video, my grass was very brown because the seasons is on. When it gets to spring and summer, the grass will turn green, so again it adds some realism to the game. And again, you've got filters on if you want them. So that's another good little app. I'm going to run through it all at the end of the video as well, so you've got absolutely everything on the list in the exact order that I'm using it. And that's them. So I think what I'll do now, just so you know, is I'll jump on to where my mods are. They're in creations, and if you watch this closely, it will show you, just put these in the exact order that it shows here, and you can't go wrong. You'll have the exact game that I've got. So there we go, KD Realistic Fireplaces, Divine Embers, Better Water, Light Guard Armour Overhaul, DCR King Crusader Mega Pack. We've got Vivid Weathers, which I've just been through, that's the Vivid Weathers. Obsidian Mountain Fogs, that adds all the fog that you see in the background. Updated enhanced lights, I think that will also change the lights to the candle smoke, which I really love. That one's great. I think when you're inside a pub, it's nice to see the smoke coming off the candles and the lights. Realistic beards, these are all kind of your hairs for your women. KS male styles, skin textures, Eyes of Beauty, which changes the eyes of the NPCs. The kids are alright renewal, which makes the kids look really realistic. We've got the texture collects there from Clever Chaffs. Polish Lush Skyrim, that changes all the grasslands of Skyrim, which is great. The landscapes there, that's changed. Simply More Trees, which does as it says, just adds more trees. Friendly, which is good. That well, you can read what it says there. I'm going through them all, but it tells you what it says. It improves the static mesh. Blended roads, to make the roads a bit more realistic. Pristine Vanilla Movement, that's a small one, but it just makes everything a bit more smoother. Divine Creatures, so you get them upgraded. The Highland Cows are a bit more orange. Everything again looks a bit more realistic. Fluff Works, which adds on to that, just makes your animals more fluffy. Landscape Fixers. Realistic grass fields, which I love. Skyrim is windy, which adds a bit of wind to the game. Wooden bridges are updated. Lampposts, which I showed you at the very beginning. You get some more flora, which is great. These are all flora. I'd definitely recommend getting all three of those. High Poly Project, that's a good one. It goes alongside your static mesh improvement mod, which we showed you earlier. This one's just a small one, it removes all the unpleasant details, which is great. Forest bark, so that looks more realistic. Northern grass, which again is what I've added, so it just looks a bit more Viking-y. I like that feel that you get the brown dead grass. The texture overhaul gets rid of the clutter. We've got HDI and tools. They've been redone so they look more realistic, and a realistic blacksmith. Farmhouse fences are upgraded. Crystal Wind Estate, which is a house you can buy. Not quite sure where that is, I've not fully looked into that one yet, but I added it just because I want different places to buy, because obviously you buy them, it does say entrance located between Hamer's Shame and Alchemist Shack. Take the road east from Helgen. Blah blah blah, so that's that one. Aberrant Flora, which is good, no more ugly ass vanilla gourds and things. I've got Supreme Obsidian Weathers, which I absolutely love. It makes everything sharp and a bit more atmospheric, especially at night, because you get the stars and the giant moon. That one's really good. The high resolution 4K SMIM, that makes everything a bit more of an overall, and makes everything a bit more 3D. Gets for the furniture and things. There's so much to go through, I'm losing out my way of talking. Realistic 3D plants overhaul, that's a really good one, that showed you that earlier. And there's another one that adds on to that actually, which I'll try and find, or did I already go through it? I had two of them, it was probably a bit further up. It makes everything 3D, so as I've showed you at the beginning of the video, the thistle and the tundra looks a bit more, it blows in the wind and looks 3D, which again I love, because sorry, recording stop, which I absolutely love because well, it just makes it look real. And then the mountains, I mean these two are huge for me. Majestic Catskill Mountains, love that, looks so realistic, the mountains, it's absolutely brilliant. And the simplicity of snow, that's my last one. I love that, it makes the snow look more realistic. And when you're going through a town, the snow used to be everywhere, it used to cover the ground underneath huts. It used to get in places where it would never get. The simplicity of snow just takes the snow away from them areas, so when you go underneath somewhere there's no snow, and it just makes it feel a lot more realistic. So that's all of mine, that is all one loadout on the Xbox, and to me, let me know what you think in the comments, but to me I think that looks absolutely incredible. I've spent nearly all night trying to get it perfect because I wanted it perfect for people of YouTube and for myself. I'm going to jump in and carry on playing the game now, because to me it's just made the game feel like a brand new game. Can't wait to jump into it. Let me know what you think, and cheers for watching. See you later folks.